The J. Michael Show.
Our guest today is an artist that performs from the West Coast to the East Coast. She's a musician and also an actress, and we'll be talking to her about all of that in just a moment. Let's meet Lucy Morningstar.
Blessings, Jay. Thank you for having me on your show. Great to be here.
Thank you for being here, man. We got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. You are a very active touring musician. You play from, as I said, West Coast to East Coast. Where are you at right now?
Yes, right now I'm in upstate New York, and originally I'm from New York, so it's great to be back east and catch a little bit of this winter feeling, even though it's into the early part of spring now.
Is it snowing up that area?
It did snow quite a bit a few days ago, and the snow is still on the ground because there was at least a foot and a half of snow.
So, what in New York? You're touring as a musician. Where are you playing?
I am going out to play this Friday in Long Island. I am playing at Cabana, Mexican-American restaurant with my good friend Benoit. We're going to be performing from 5 to 8 at this wonderful place that I've performed a few times with Ben, and it's going to be a great time.
If you will, kind of wrap up or summarize or just tell me what your music is like. What kind of music are you playing?
I play a mix of rock, reggae, and ska, and then I infuse originals, covers, and improv mixed in all together. And it's kind of my own blend of style, I'd say.
It's your own thing.
Yes. Sometimes it goes a little bit comedic. Sometimes it's more serious and sentimental. I definitely share my emotions fully in my performances, so it feels like there's a wide range. As a singer-songwriter and musician for a long time, it seems that each place I go activates a different reason why I'm there, and I certainly feel that gratitude for getting the chance to perform in every place that I go.
Fantastic. Okay, and when you're playing West Coast, what area are you generally in?
I had been in the LA area and based at a studio in Torrance, and I was performing everywhere from down in San Diego, a couple hours south of me, to Long Beach, right beside where I was, to LA and downtown, and even Culver City, and then all the way up to Ventura, Santa Barbara, and then up north to San Francisco and Sonoma. I've gotten to do some really fun performances in California that have certainly made my time there extremely worthwhile and taught me a lot about being an artist and sustaining myself in doing so.
You do something that a lot of artists, I think, don't do, and that is that you do telegrams, right? Tell me about that.
Yes. A few years back, I had met a fellow musician in a parking lot of a rehearsal studio in downtown LA. And upon meeting this girl, Dylan Hadley, and her boyfriend, I struck up a connection just about music. They helped me with a jack to change a tire from an auction vehicle that I had there. And then, we exchanged Instagrams, but it wasn't like a major hangout or anything. No. But one day I just got a message from Dylan saying, "Hey, I'd love to see if you could do a birthday shout out for my boyfriend's birthday. He's a fan of yours." So I thought, wow, how funny. She had at first asked me if I was on the site Cameo, and I wasn't yet doing that, which I then added it recently because I was like, I might as well be on that too, But it was funny because she was just asked me to do a telegram. I ended up customizing her one in my RV and like writing a song essentially for her boyfriend's birthday that just kind of came naturally. And Mike had helped me film this really cool video telegram that I sent her. And it was like just upon her specific request that I did this. But then fast forward to like a little while later, I started getting requested a lot for different kinds of telegrams in person. And it
Mm-hmm.
became something that popped off where because I do a lot of comedic improv and integrate that with music and also enjoy doing costumed acting and stuff that is like surprise for different occasions, like people got into calling upon me for these type of occasions, and now it's been wow, like I see these memories pop up on my Facebook from like year after year where I'm like, whoa, today I'm doing a telegram, and last year at this time I was doing a telegram somewhere else. That's crazy. Like, it's cool to think that I guess like I have really done a lot, like at least, but I'd say probably a couple hundred in the last few years. And so it's given me this wide range of seeing people on this personal level that I never expected was possible. Because when you enter someone's home and you're surprising them, nothing else really reaches people in a vulnerable place like the way that this does, where I'm allowed to see this response that each different person gives. And it's like that in itself kind of blows my mind because it sparks a lot of inspiration just towards how much being, I guess, willing to put yourself out there and share your vulnerability with people makes them feel good, because we all kind of have the same needs when it comes down to it. And on one's birthday, there's nothing more fun or festive than getting someone to like sing your favorite song to you in some funny way and like, you know, incorporate maybe a costume or a little gift like flowers and balloons. And for one reason or another, the people that are sending the telegrams usually know the person well enough that they're like asking me for something that's going to really make it hit. Like one lady recently asked for donuts at this guy's workplace so the guys could like all share the donuts. And I just thought that was very cute and thoughtful. And it's like, you know, it helps to like deliver something special from someone's significant other or family member in a way that's unique. So that has been a real blessing for me. It's been so uplifting to get to be a part of that because, well, I mean, as an artist, first of all, I mean, I'll be the first to say, like, I feel the struggle that we all have as artists to keep going in the direction of our dreams and pursue and sustain our level of energy towards that, like, what makes us able to do it. And this one thing changed my world in a big sense of, like, oh, this was the extra money that I needed to not be able to like have to give up my dreams to like, you know, go a different direction that might have slowed me down. And just feeling capable of doing that has also helped me to share that with other people who have like had a remarkable experience or continued doing them. And now some of my friends, like my friend up in Oregon, is like blowing up with lots of telegrams and doing like her own style in lots of ways. And I had given her as a recommendation through a platform I worked, and she just really caught fire, doing an amazing job on each telegram. And it's like that stuff that inspires me, getting to share with other friends and musicians, like this little, I don't know, gem or token that like helps us mutually. Like it helps people to have something different to give as a present, but it also is like a present to a musician to have that uplifting experience.
Absolutely. And you were talking about changing the tire. You actually lived in a van for a while and did the stereotypical independent musician running around in a van, right?
Oh, I sure did. I started out in a van down by the river, leaving Long Island. Actually, it's so full circle now to be going back over and over again to Long Island. It's like, am I going to find like the perfect van or RV there? Because like everything is like sparked by a van of some sort in my world. Like I'm definitely a larger vehicle connoisseur. You know, I've had various vehicles that are bigger, and a bus and motorhome and things like that. But the van that started it all was with my friend and she's a painter who was from Long Island, Oceanside. Brianna Giordano, who I met back when I was 21 years old, and we set sail out to go to California on a road trip that really, wow, I didn't see at the time, but the adventurous nature of the two of us meeting at that time and our friendship really caused something magnificent to happen that like echoed into the world, because we were two young women willing to like put fear aside and just go for it in our van and like go performing. I was
Mhm.
playing music, she was painting behind me on a canvas, and this was now like 15 years ago, and it brought back the movement of live painting in art,
Mhm.
and art being mixed into music performances in a way that was not happening at the time but had happened in the 60s and 70s. And like it was strange because Brie was really who brought that idea into the performance with me. I was like, like, let's do something together. And she was like, I could paint behind you. And I was like, yo, like, that's it.
That's
And
cool.
then people would buy our painting at the end, and like, that would help us to fund for gas, like going to our next destination. And
Uh-huh.
like, really, the grassroots nature of people who supported us and family and friends, like, made the journey really feel extra special and lit up by good vibes.
Right.
Because like when you're young in that way, like 21 years old, and you don't really think about like your mortality, and you're just going like, I remember like just silly things that we did, like camping out and just doing like various fun things like in different areas of the bay and stuff, where we got to observe different kinds of people and taking in the kind of people that are out there and like the multitude of energies that are
Mhm.
awake during the night, and like what that does to you to see. It made me feel like really uncomfortable in some ways. Also, really like, whoa, like this could be me, and and also
Very,
like
very 60s, like in the 60s, just traveling in your van on the road and you're camping wherever and you're playing music and you have the artists there doing the art. That just really brings back a sort of a Americana spirit and feeling to it.
mm, yeah, there was a feeling of nostalgia to even our adventure. Like we kind of channeled this energy of Jim Morrison and
Hmm.
Jimi Hendrix and the revolutionary musicians who came before us, Janis Joplin, and how these people had cultivated such a inspiration and influence towards art itself
Hmm.
because of their perspective. And it was more about just being an innovator rather than building a following, I guess. And I still feel more inclined towards like doing that exact thing, like breaking the mold and being my own rather than like following the formula towards what people want. I actually feel very against the grain more than ever before, and I'm like scratching my head like, whoa, like something in me needs to like conform, but at the same time, like I have a rebel spirit that I just cannot like put aside. This is like the essence of who I am.
Hmm.
But now I see like, whoa, like I don't want to be a boundary from myself succeeding, like financially, for instance, by being so rebellious that like other artists, I like turned my back on like what the big opportunities are. And sometimes I kind of feel like, whoa, I've been a little bit too harsh upon not including maybe more of what others have shown me the light in. And when you do take on the knowledge of like what you see going on around you, like, and actually adapt that into your way, that's when you truly can embrace the success of all. Because it's not just
Right.
about yourself when, like the mission is to uplift others. But if we get really focused on trying to just pave our path without thinking about our effects on other people, then it does kind of make us feel an isolation that is not like the reason for being a musician. In a way, it's like, yeah, being an artist is cool as far as any way of being an artist, and there's millions of ways of expressing yourself, and we are all artists in a way is how I see it. But if you want to put yourself out there as a public entity and a, creator of some sort that is like in the public eye, it's like a whole different ballgame because there's so much politics and I guess other elements that relate to it, and people in today's day want to follow followers, and really the dynamics of what make people successful has a lot more to do with money and something contrived rather than what's natural and authentic, which is kind of where I think I'm still caught in this like old school mentality of sorts. Like, I just kind of want to do it my way and not be like, here, now I sold out with this song because I'm singing about like, I don't know, like something that I don't want to sing about. But that's not me. Like, I'm literally like, I don't know. I think I actually have hit the jackpot in some way right now just by I'm working on an impersonation gig that I have coming up, which is hilarious. I mean, maybe I should just go ahead and like state on your show so that like this could be the announcement of it, that I got hired to be Taylor Swift for a couple gigs coming up. And so I've been practicing like doing various songs of hers. But I mean, I already knew some of her music, played some of her music, but this is like next level of me getting to apply my acting and music into new territory. I mean, and wow, I match it really well with the wig and the makeup. I'm like, dang, like I'm like building upon being able to cultivate more by my willingness or humility, I guess, in doing that kind of thing that I wouldn't have been willing to do before because I would have thought it was too hard.
Your music, in fact, one of your songs, Butterflies, I want you to talk about that in a moment, but it is one of the most beautiful songs I've heard.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I just love it. And I've even noticed that, like, if I post something on Instagram, I can select that song to be behind it. Butterflies is a wonderful song. Tell me about creating that song.
Butterflies is a song I wrote on my way back from Jamaica, and I had come to collaborate with my friend Andre Lloyd, who has a studio in Brooklyn called Beats Galore, and he and I have done various reggae songs in the past, but this was a fusion, and it mixed kind of I guess maybe like a pop and reggae sound together that came from my feeling of meeting somebody along the way that reminded me while I was on my way to Andre's studio that everywhere that you are is an activation point, and that every place that you're going, it might actually be enhanced by this experience of mindfulness towards the moment and not being afraid to connect fully with the present of like wherever you end up.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. And CDs, you have CDs, right? You do several CDs so far?
Yeah, I've had a few different albums out, and I am coming to the time where I'm going to be releasing more here shortly. I've been working on, well, I guess I'm changing a few of the things on the back end of where I'm releasing my music from. Mm-hmm. So that's really good news. And I did also, this month, a new song came out by Clint Warren that I'm featured on called, it's a cover of Beach in Hawaii, the Ziggy Marley song. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I have been excited about releasing more of my music that I recorded when I was younger, because some of that I intended on releasing when the time was right, and I feel like the time is right. So I've little by little kind of worked with different artists and people that have helped me to see how I can get more of the music out there in the way that I want and put some visuals to it. And also I just got to shoot a music video this week for a very, classic old school song of mine that I'm going to be re-releasing soon. I give it the word classic just because it feels like a signature song of mine that I can't believe isn't out there presently, because it was, but under my old artist name. So now I'm going to re-release it under my name and put out a music video with it.
Well, what is it? What's the name of it?
The name of the song is Brand New Day, and it's one that I wrote in Chicago in 2010, so like 14 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so this is a new album, a new CD, a whole new thing that you're coming out with soon?
Yes, I will be releasing a whole new album very soon.
And let's see, names of the albums. Bridges, was that one of them?
That was a single that I released very recently too, in September of last year.
Of course, you had Butterflies out there too. That was all. What album was that from?
You know, I actually did not put that on an album. It was a single as well. And it's been a while since I released, well, I had put out Michigan's EP in November of 22, and that was the last EP that I released, but I was releasing a bunch of different singles from early in last year until Passion came out in December, and then this year I am working on doing things a little differently. So I have been rebranding my merch site and everything with help of a creator in Los Angeles who has done an excellent job working with me on that. And so that is one thing I'm looking forward to sharing and highlighting on my websites and everything like that. If your fan base wants to check out more of my merch and my music, they're all available on my website, lucymorningstar.com, and also on my new Shopify, which is under Lucy Morningstar Music.
You, as a working musician, a touring musician, do you find it difficult to handle the business end of it, where you're the money it takes to create an EP and get your merch together and get it ready for concerts? Is that a difficult procedure for you?
I find that I'm willing to go the distance in terms of getting the amount that I can handle of that, but there's also another ability that comes from those around you supporting you and building what you do by you working with those people. So at different times that people have supported me, it's been crucial and like really made it more possible, because without the support of others, it's really not that manageable myself as an independent artist. And that is what I'd say, is that no one in their right minds would go in it thinking that like just by themselves they're able to like make everything happen. And that's just like, it takes teamwork. Like for sure, the people that have been around me, my friends, my family, and even those who have worked with me, bandmates and collaborators, have played a big role in me being able to continue to order merch, to make and release music, to build myself as Lucy Morningstar Music, because that in itself has been a journey coming from where I used to be artist Lucid Lion, and that was where I originally started in New York, releasing Strands of Light 10 years ago under Lucid Lion. It's an amazing feeling, I'd say, to get to this point and think like, whoa, I definitely have to do more for myself to keep climbing. And that feeling of knowing that is motivating to the continuance of it.
Well, let's shift gears a little now from musician to actress. You were in an episode of Grace and Frankie with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin, and you've done a lot of acting. Tell me about your acting career as well.
Cool, yeah. I have done some extremely fun projects throughout the years, both on my own accord and through being casted in different ways in Hollywood. I had dreadlocks for many years, and that was one thing that gravitated me to some of the roles that I got to play, because the quirkiness of me and my dreadlocks mixed in this vibe of like what they were looking for in
Mm-hmm.
some comedic way.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like sing about how the joke was on me, and like, I don't know, I felt very like the world revolved around me at the time when I was doing that acting. Like, I don't know, even though I was like super like tiny in the scheme of things, my energy was like out of control, and I was like getting a lot of work from that, like that feeling of like wanting to bring everyone together. And like then everyone would come to my shows from that. Like, I was doing a residency at the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood, and actually like a lot of people started to support my music through being on sets, and I was like an extra in some things. I actually got roles in like Eric Andre's show and a couple other shows like Tosh Point oh, and this like handful of things that I got some good roles in. I mean, a movie called The Laundromat that I was in was one of the highlights that really was hilarious, because I played a cave woman. And in the beginning of the movie, as Gary Oldman and Antonio Banderas come into the scene, Gary Oldman hands me $100 bill and I eat it. And then Antonio Banderas lights the brush on fire in front of us, where we had been trying to like make fire with a stick and a rock. And it was like just a really cool thing to be on a green screen set with such inspirational actors who I looked up to in the highest way. Like, I literally was, I mean, in the movie with Meryl Streep, like some of the best of the best. And I was like, how did I end up casting this? And you know what? I definitely have to give it up to my management at the time, the people I was working with, who kept getting me like really great auditions and putting me forward for a lot of good stuff. Now I can see, like, in retrospect, having put a little bit of time between when I was focused more on acting, that I had to go into full focus towards my music in order to get where I wanted to go with it. And that has been extremely fruitful towards my life feeling more complete. Because, like, as a musician and person that started out in New York with a guitar as a singer-songwriter, I never would have wanted to have lost that feeling of going out there and wanting to play. So being that I get to do that even on Friday, like, kind of means the world to me. Like, so sometimes I feel very emotional just about the fact that the journey has not yet come to a place where like I'm bringing 1 million people out and like my shows are all sold out and stuff. But yet, step by step, everything that has happened that has brought me to the now makes me feel complete, and like my heart is full, and I'm extremely grateful and just like blessed to have the chance to keep performing, especially as frequently as I do, because it's not a small fortune. It's very, very fortunate that people have given that trust to me to be at their venues and like have shows that are like a full night of music that's mine and stuff. And it's like not usually, I guess, with the collaboration of other artists as much as it should be, where it's always like I'm doing my own thing. It's like I'm doing my own kind of shows. But I'm glad that I've embraced doing it my way in the same, because like I said, I'm a rebel. There's no reason for me to conform anyway.
Well, you're being authentic, and you're being authentic to yourself and who you are. So you didn't get the acting bug to just go and only do acting.
I love to act, and I definitely will be doing more acting, but on a level of producing and acting and filming, I like to be more hands-on and involved in the storyline. I have a lot of films that I'd like to produce myself, and I've been writing and coming up with my own kind of plan to create more in that way. I have one short film that I produced called Natalia Wolf that is on YouTube and won a couple awards and film festivals, and that I starred in and wrote and did music for. I will certainly be working towards editing more of what I have filmed in the past, and also creating some new music videos that I've been filming for a while, because I've had like footage that I want to put towards certain things, and it's like, the montage of all of this footage reminds me of, like, I guess, different places I've been, and how, wow, like traveling can take you anywhere, and, like, I don't know, really quickly kind of change your whole perspective on the world.
Wow, you're the kind of artist that you're so. I mean, you change from different things, from musician to actress to producer to filmmaker. You're doing it all, and that's really something that a lot of independent artists struggle with, trying to shift gears like that.
Hmm. Well, thank you. I am grateful that I feel like, my passion is towards many things, and as long as I get to keep creating, then it'll be worthwhile to
Hmm.
me.
So, if someone wants to buy an album, hear a song, or get some merch from you, where would they go and do that?
Shopify, Lucy Morningstar Music. LucyMorningstar.com has my selection of merch and music. And, well, music, I'd say, would be best downloaded from Apple Music and Spotify. You can stream it on. Bandcamp would be the most direct way to support me as an artist. Certainly, if you download my discography on Bandcamp, you can contribute there, buy merch there, everything like that. So that would be the coolest way. And I'm setting up Facebook and Instagram stores this week with the new merch line, so that will also be available as well.
Cool, really. And also YouTube, where some of the things you've been in would be posted there as well, right?
Yes, I have an acting reel and a couple of my productions on there too.
Well,
My
fantastic.
YouTube is under youtube.com/fiery guitar, FIREYGUITAR. That's the YouTube I've always had, and so, like, that's the one.
Do you play other instruments as well as the guitar?
Yes, I do. I love to play bass, keys. I play drums on Butterflies and some of my other recordings. I play percussion. I've used many instruments to create my sound and layer my songs. A lot of synthesizers and different kinds of uh, just MIDI sounds throughout the years that I have
Hmm.
found, like, to be a really helpful part of it. I don't know if MIDI sounds is the right way to put it, but like software instruments, I guess I should say.
Right.
I've been producing since I was really young, like 16 or so, when my dad first shared his studio with me, and my family plays a big part in my musical upbringing. So I always gotta, give thanks to my father for being such a big light in my life towards encouraging me to be an artist,
You
and
have a
my
very
mom.
you have a very supportive family.
Yes, my father passed away 6 years ago, and he was a musician his whole life. And my mom is a chiropractor who has also, played piano and sang, and been just a huge supporter of my dad, myself. My sister is also an artist, and her artist name is Molly Moore.
Hmm.
Big shout out to my sister, because she's amazing. I know she has a show coming up in LA. She's opening up for Wheatus, the 90s band. Super cool. Molly's always doing something cool.
Wow.
And we've collaborated a couple times. She sang, featured on my music as well. And it's just like an incredible blessing to have my family be a part of my musical path, because knowing that we support each other in this unconditional way of, like, uplifting each other's mission in the arts is what I aim to do with all people in my world as I expand into the
Hmm.
future here.
Fantastic. So, if someone wanted to book a house concert or to get you to play somewhere, how would be the best way to get in touch with you?
My email would be a great way to contact me for that, lucymorningstarmusic@gmail.com. And I'm also on Gig Salad, where you can find me under Lucy Morningstar and book me for certain kinds of private events and telegrams.
Fantastic. Well, Lucy, thank you so much for being my guest on my show.
Thank you for having me, Jay. It's been amazing. You're so awesome. And I love the friendship that we have struck up these recent years of talking. And I just really am grateful for you and the support that you've shown me as an artist. It makes it feel like we've known each other for not that long, but it makes it feel like we've always been friends kind of thing. And so I really look forward to when we can meet in person and hang out and jam sometime.
We almost had that chance. You came to Texas and I missed you.
Hey, well, that was just the first of many, so I'm sure next time that I come around, we will make it happen.
All right, fantastic. Lucy Morningstar, thank you for watching this show. Be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye.